Is being busy just part of mom life now? Is it possible to raise well-rounded, activity-involved children and create a successful business without experiencing overwhelm or feeling FOMO? As far-fetched as it may sound, I actually believe that it is possible if you work to control your schedule rather than letting your schedule control you. Taking back control of your schedule helps you to find space and time for the things that you truly value. Time for the priorities that you've set for yourself, for your family, and for your business. And whatever fear you may have about letting go of activities or events that don't tick these boxes will start to dissipate as you relish the newfound time and energy that you've created for yourself. So stay tuned for 3 steps for you to take back control of your schedule and a freebie to help you decide when and where you should say yes. All of that on today's episode of The ADHD Mompreneur. But before we dive into today's topic, I'd like to take just a minute to introduce myself in case you are new. My name is Christy Lingo, and I am a recovering yes mom, people pleaser, and perfectionist, ADHD mom to an ADHD child, and executive function and accountability coach for ADHD mom business owners. I work with my clients to help them balance their schedules and decide what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. And I pop in between calls just to make sure that they're staying on track. If you'd like to learn more about me and my services, stop by my website at theadhdmompreneur.com. And while you're there, be sure to pick up my free essential checklists for ADHD mompreneurs. I've designed them to help you remember all the steps, know where you left off, and use less brain power deciding what to do. And I've made them fully customizable so you can make them work exactly the way that you need for your business. So be sure to stop by the ADHDmompreneur.com today to check out my services and pick up your free checklists. Moms love to say yes. We love to be involved. We love to help. We hate to feel like we're letting people down, especially our kids. But what happens when all of those yeses compound into feeling overwhelmed or stressed out? An anxious, stressed out, overstimulated, unfulfilled mom entrepreneur is what happens. But today, we are going to try to fix that by giving you some tools for you to take back control of your schedule. And trust me, as a recovering people pleaser, I know how hard it can be to turn people down because you fear that they'll be disappointed in you, or you think that if you don't do it, then it might not get done at all. But here's the thing. When you stand up for your time, your values, and your goals, you will start to see your life align. That creative energy that you previously spent on fulfilling somebody else's vision can now be spent on fulfilling yours. The time and effort that you applied to helping somebody else reach their goal can be applied to you reaching your goals. You can find ways to fill your cup on a daily basis because you stop or limit the amount that you are pouring out for others. And when your energy isn't diluted from overcommitment, you can show up more present at your kids' activities and events without having to think about the other 150,000 things that are on your to-do list. You can devote focused time and effort to an organization or a project that you truly feel passionate about rather than just giving them the bare minimum because that's all you have. And over time, you and your family will start to see that less can really be more when it comes to your schedule. And if you are a yes mom sitting there saying, I can't possibly change my schedule, this is just how it's going to be until my kids are older, or no one else can do it like me, it has to be me, I have a truth bomb for you. You do have a choice. You can make a change and stand up for the life that you want, or you can continue to complain and live the life that everybody else wants you to live. It's your choice. So if you are ready to stop stressful overscheduling and start scheduling with purpose and intention, here are my 3 steps to help you scale back your commitments. And when it comes to scaling back, it's all about knowing where you need to be, knowing how much time you need around those activities, and knowing when you should and shouldn't say yes. Up first, you need to know your schedule. And to be honest, this is where you mamas are killing it. I bet dollars to donuts that the majority of you out there do maintain some sort of calendar for your family and your business, because otherwise your life would just fall into abject chaos. So kudos to you for that. Where I start to see struggles arise with knowing what's on your calendar is when my clients have one calendar over here that has all of the family stuff on it, and a different calendar or planner over here that has all of the work or business commitments on it. So even though you have these calendars and they're up to date, there could be a chance that you schedule a 4 o'clock, 1 hour Zoom call on a day when you have a child that needs picked up from a soccer practice at 4:30. So I highly recommend finding a way that you can have a calendar for yourself where you can see the whole picture. It could be something like keeping separate Google calendars for yourself, for your family, and for your business that you can see and regularly update on your phone or on your computer. Or maybe it works better for you to take a little time at the beginning of each week to review all the different calendars that you have and create some sort of weekly workflow so you know who needs to be where when and where any overlaps might occur. Knowing what is on the schedule leads us to our second step, which is knowing the space you need around activities. You know your child has a piano lesson at 5:30. You also know that you have a Zoom call that is supposed to end at 5 o'clock. And it's going to take you at least 20 minutes to drive to the piano lesson. That's if there's no traffic or your meeting doesn't run over and your child is ready to walk out the door right away to get there on time. That's running it pretty close. So if we're trying to avoid that fluttery feeling that we get when we're going to be late again, we need to add in some margin or a buffer zone around activities. That continuous slamming of one activity into another over and over again is what contributes to feeling so stressed out and overwhelmed when it comes to your schedule. There's just no transition time, and we need breathing room. So when you look at the schedules for your family, for your business, or for yourself, do you build in time for transitions or a buffer around different events and activities? If not, it could be that it isn't the number of activities that you're involved in that's causing you the stress, but the fact that you just don't have any time in between to breathe. And my final step, know when to say yes. ADHDers love to say yes. We love to be helpful and involved. We hate to let people down. And we definitely do not want to miss out on the fun. But in our rush to say yes to everything and everyone else, we often start to say no to ourselves, which leads us to feeling unfulfilled, overwhelmed, and burned out. That's why I want to wrap up today by sharing 10 simple questions that would take you about a minute to run through, but can help you to slow down and make a more conscious decision about whether you have the time, energy, and space in your schedule to add this new activity or opportunity. Because when you start to fill your schedule with activities that you value, that you want to do, that you love to do, that bring you joy, you will start to feel less overwhelmed and stressed out because you are cognizant of each and every item that is on your schedule. And as a bonus, I have created a printable worksheet of these 10 questions for you that you can pick up by visiting bit.ly/yesquestions or by following the link in the show description. So here are the 10 questions to ask yourself before you say yes. Do you want to do this? Does it require your specific expertise? Do you have time in your schedule for this? Does this align with your values? Will it take time away from yourself or your family? Will it take time away from your work? Is it a priority? Will it take time away from something else that is a priority? Could someone else do this? And will there be an opportunity for you to do this again in the future? And remember, these questions are just to give you a bit of a pause before you make a snap yes and another commitment to add to your schedule. You may get all the way through all of these questions and despite the answers, decide that you're still going to say yes, and that is okay. The most important thing is that you're creating an awareness around evaluating each opportunity that's presented to you rather than just jumping in and saying yes to everything that comes your way. And remember, you can get my free printable download of these 10 questions by visiting bit.ly/yesquestions or following the link in the show description. Be sure to print them right away so that A, you don't forget about them, and B, you've got them ready to use the next time that you are presented with an opportunity that you aren't quite sure that you have the time and space for. And if you're saying to yourself, I don't know if I have time for this, or I'm not sure what my priorities are, I'm here to help. My coaching program is specifically designed to support ADHD mom business owners in setting achievable goals, breaking those goals down into manageable tasks, then prioritizing what tasks you will work on and when you're going to work on them, and follow through to completion. If you'd like to see how I could support you in reducing your schedule overwhelm and reaching those goals that you have, be sure to sign up for my free, no obligation call by following the link in the show description. That's all for this week, but I will be back next week to talk about the benefits of creating a dopamine menu. So make sure that you have hit the like, subscribe, or follow button so you don't miss next week or any of my upcoming episodes. Until then, keep making your ADHD journey part of your success story. If you're a business owning mom with ADHD, you're going to need to grab my free customizable essential checklists for ADHD mompreneurs by visiting bit.ly/checklists for ADHD mompreneurs or by following the link in the episode description. Do it now before you forget. Until next time.